Now back to live coverage on the CRN Sports Network.
This is CRN, the Community Radio Network, the voice of the community, the voice of anything sports, and proud to be the voice of the Comets. Follow us at crnsports.org. Now let's get back to the broadcast coverage on CRN. Looking for a life insurance company that specializes in what you actually need? Protection. Call Danny today with Symmetry Financial. Danny is certified in all 50 states, which means Symmetry Financial is not limited and has over 30 companies to choose from. Symmetry Financial has proved time and time again that their options and pricing is just better than the rest. Give Danny a call today at 828-994-1681 to see how Symmetry Financial can make life simple.
Unforgettables. Nice. This show sponsored by Unforgettables. Unforgettables creates detailed hand-painted baseballs for every baseball fan. Check them out at unforgettables.com.
Now back to live coverage on the CRN Sports Network.
And a good Tuesday afternoon to everybody. Well, it's close to almost Tuesday afternoon. July 28th, new segment of our CRN podcast is going to be Comets Chat. As you all know, as we move in to the 2020 season, we will be going on what will be our fourth consecutive year as being the official radio voice of the Comets for football, basketball, baseball, and softball. And joining us on the line right now is the new head coach of the Clayton High School Comets football team. Looking forward to having the opportunity to spend time with him now for about the next 12 to 15 minutes. Coach Shane Handy. And what an impressive resume he certainly has as he leads the Comets Nation in the quest for their second state championship. Last time it was ever won was back in 1989 by the great Coach Gary Fowler for a state title. Several conference championships along the way. After Gary Fowler left, other people have took the helm. Most recently, Robert Sesame took the replace of Hunter Jinks, and now Sesame was only interim there for last year amongst all the stuff that went on with the supposed Comet scandal that actually was found out to be null and void along the way. A man out of Randleman, North Carolina, will now take the helm to lead the Comets. See on the field, Coach Shane Handy. Welcome to Comets Chat. It's a pleasure, sir.
It's a pleasure to be with you guys.
So before we start talking a little bit about the Comets program for 2020, amongst COVID and everything that's going on with this pandemic that still has plagued our country since March, what is your background in being qualified as the new head coach of the Clayton Comets?
Well, I was just hired in January by Dr. Jones, and he came and visited one of our playoff games, and I guess watched us play. And I was at Randleman High School for 12 years, and we were regional finals this past year, one game away from the state championship, and had a really good team. Went 13-1, and came up against Salisbury team and lost 14-7 in that finals game, and to go to the state championship. So we had been past 3 years. We were 13-1, 12-1, and 11-1, and so just had some really good teams, some really good young men at Randleman, and for 12 years we had been, trying to build a program. They had not had a very much success in the previous years, and probably won, before we got there, I think the most games they won was 5 in 1 year, and the rest of the time they were pretty pitiful, actually. And so I was from Randleman, grew up there as a young man, and went off and coached different places, coached college football at different places, and just was asked by some people in the community and Coach Charles Gregory, who was the long time coach there. The stadium's named after, and Linda Petty was some people that had called and said, "Hey, we really want you to come back to Randleman and see if you can get it back on track." And we were fortunate and had good players and a great staff of men that helped lead those guys to 4 or 5 conference championships.
A very impressive resume for sure. And I don't want to get off subject, but, I'm a respected NASCAR and motorsports broadcaster of 24 years. And I love the fact that you're a NASCAR fan. You're from Randleman, North Carolina. If a lot of people don't know, that's just outside of Level Cross and Trinity, and the home of the King, Richard Petty.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I grew up watching Richard go up down the road, testing his car and that kind of stuff in Level Cross as a young man, and it was a great place to grow up. And of course, the loss of the chief, Maurice Petty, and this past week, and that's tough in our neighborhood for sure, because what a great group of people, and brought a lot to the town of Randleman and in the Greensboro and Asheboro area, of course.
Yeah, for sure. I know the motorsports community, not just NASCAR, but the racing industry is hurting with the passing of Maurice Petty. Only one of the best engine builders before there was ever, the high-dollar, multi-million-dollar operations that pioneer the motorsports aero horsepower programs of today. And Maurice Petty was one of the people that was definitely the innovator of the front lines in helping to make that happen. So, again, Maurice Petty, Godspeed to you.
Yes, sir.
Football. Clayton, what is the plans for 2020? Will we see the Comets players take the field? And how hard has it been? Because normally, CRN starts covering, preseason training. We cover the football camps and the 2 or 3 a days in the heat, and sometimes at 5 o'clock in the morning and sometimes at night. You've not been able to do that with these players.
No, it's been tough. We had a great 8 weeks when we got into January, up to March before COVID hit, and we really had some great workouts. We had some gatherings outside, and man, I was real excited. And our coaching staff has come together greatly and brought in 2 or 3 guys, kept some guys on staff, added a few other guys, and so. We're real excited about a group of men that we have to lead the Comets, and we're excited about the players we have. We feel like we're very talented with a dedicated group of young men that really want to be great, and excited about the work ethic that we have installed and the weight room that we're planning to build right now, actually in the field house that's getting ready to be finished here in August, at the end of August. So we have some great things ahead of us and some great opportunities. We just got to get to work, and hopefully Johnson County will let us sometime in August get together and start training these young men again, because I feel like we've got a great plan to get them back going and to maybe get a season in, no matter how long it is or how short it is. We'd like for our young men to be able to experience their senior year, and got a wonderful senior class that has just some incredible leaders and young men that have some great possibilities to play at the next level also.
Coach Shane Handy again joining us, the new Comets head coach here on Comets Chat. And got about maybe 8-9 more minutes with him here on this interview podcast. As we said, we're kind of condensing our CRN podcast and doing things in around a 10 or 20-minute format. But has there been any discussion of like what will happen? What's the plan? And I say that because you might have to depend on the radio network here at CRN to entertain and to inform the players, family, and the fans of Comet Country what games are going on, whether it also be Football Friday or the coverage that, the local TV affiliates can provide, because fans might not be allowed to be in the grandstands.
Yeah, you just right now it's so up in the air of what direction we're going to go in and what's going to be allowed and what's not going to be allowed. And so we hope that we can get right back into the feel of things and fill the stands up and experience that, sometime in September, October, hopefully. That's the dream, I guess. And if that doesn't happen, hopefully they'll make some kind of direction to go in the springtime. We're willing to do whatever it takes to play football, to let our young men experience their senior year and to provide our fans and our community with a wonderful game that everybody loves there in Clayton.
Coach, could we see something like that possibly transition of where they could possibly be playing in the spring or the winter time? That would kind of affect the basketball program, would it?
Yeah, they're talking about doing in several different states. They're talking about doing all the sports starting in January and every 2 months have a season, a fall season for 2 months, a spring winter season for 2 months, and then have a spring season for 2 months. That's what it's looking like in Virginia.
Right.
Just really don't know what direction North Carolina will go in. We feel like if we can flatten this curve out, I guess is what everybody's talking about, or get back in a groove to have some time, get back in school and get this thing better. Hopefully we can start in, maybe in October, somewhere in there. Again, that's just a dream, I guess.
Gotcha.
But September's when they're saying, we're going to try to get school started. So I think Johnson County is going to bring back some elementary and middle school kids, and sometime in September, and hopefully we can get our high school guys back. I know in Mississippi they're starting back, and there's some year-round schools that's already started back, and they're doing fine. But it's hard to say what the media is going to say and do for sure.
Again, we're talking to the new Comets head coach Shane Handy here on Comets Chat. Remember, we are efforting a season for the Clayton Comets program, and of course all coverage of football gridiron action will be on the CRN Sports Network beginning whenever we get the green light, obviously, and the first man that would know would be, of course, Coach Shane Handy, and also Coach Principal Dr. Bennett Jones. And by the way, CRN wants to send a big happy birthday to him. I know he celebrated a birthday on Sunday, and we just want to say a big happy birthday again to Coach Jones. Love you. Thank you so much for seeing the vision that Trace Knight and myself had in doing this and having CRN Sports broadcast football, basketball, baseball, softball, and more. Coach, with what you've done along the way, from Randleman, from the Carolinas, to what you've done in Arkansas and Mississippi and more, what does it mean for a football organization to have a radio network to provide coverage for your team?
Oh, it's incredible. I think it brings excitement to the community, and again, it gives people information, and information's power. And so I feel like any time that you can have a class act organization like you guys have, and share the vision of Comet Country and share the vision of our program and that kind of stuff, I think that's very valuable for our community.
So let's go back on track here with the football programming, conditioning, transitioning these players. What have you told them along the way? Do you have Zoom conferences? Do y'all try to meet up maybe 10 players at a time or 25 at a time if you're following the social distancing rules with the masks on? How do you know what type of a squad we're going to end up with when we finally hit the field?
Yeah, right now, our county has not allowed any kind of in-person coaching.